Good afternoon, everyone. This is Brad Weber with Local Umbrella Media here in beautiful Coronado, California. This is Local Umbrella Connect, and very apropos today because we have the connector herself, Michele Westberry, way out in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Welcome, Michele. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Brad.
I know you're known as the connector out there, and we'll talk about why a little bit. Also, just it's funny, you're in Virginia Beach and I'm in San Diego, or we're in San Diego and Coronado. We're very military, heavily military background here, and there's a base right here in Coronado. So we kind of share those. It's almost like a sister city type of thing. So coincidentally, you're out there and we're here and we're doing the same type of thing. But anyway, we talked, I can't remember when it was, but we first connected last year, and you were actually on the show several months ago. You were just getting started. So, for people that didn't see that or won't see that, let's recap kind of who you are, where you came from, how you got started with the Connector magazines, which I didn't even introduce, but Michele is with the Connector magazines, Virginia Connector, and we'll talk about the actual products a little bit later. But tell us a little bit about, Connector magazines and you and your background and how you got into this, and then we'll talk about where you're going.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So my background, where I start? Well, basically, start with my background. I started out in print media back in the late '90s, like closer to 2000, 1999, and I did some things on behalf of Visit Florida, which help promote in-state travel as well as bring in out-of-state people into the state for travel, local events, things like that. Just keeping the local people thriving, if you will. And fast forward, I went to digital marketing and just, this last year decided to start my own business and go back to where I started. I kind of call it the circle of life. You know how people go back right now, they're wearing their grandma's clothes and going back to home phones and the wall. Well, I'm kind of going back to where I started too. So that's kind of where I came from. But with that being said, yes, Connector Magazines is the main name. Virginia Connector is what I started with, and I have a couple different issues here. Like you mentioned, we are from a military town, and it's all about local, just promoting local events, local artists, local travel, local businesses, local nonprofits. But being that said, it is a direct mail product that goes to homeowners or local residents' mailboxes. So we try to also fill it with services that are related to the homeowners. So anything from a financial advisor to a dog groomer and so forth. So just everything local.
Yeah. Well, the short story is you were in print, and you're like me. We were print before print was cool, or when print was cool, and then it kind of became not so cool. And people have found a couple things, both the local part and the print part. They're back. Print, because everyone went digital. It's kind of a mess out there. You can't, as we know from our politics and everything else, you can't trust what you find online. You really don't know who's writing it. No one's accountable for it because anybody can say anything. So print is kind of the trusted media, and we connected. We happen to print the magazine for you, and it is beautiful. We can't actually let people touch it and feel it, but that's a big part of it. Is that other part of your five senses is touch, and you have these beautiful soft touch covers, and it's very high end paper. And so I kind of know all this stuff, but I want our viewers to know, why it's different from just having something online. We direct mail, and you direct mail these to local neighborhoods. And I will say that when we talked, you were working on your first one, working really hard. And if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So, it was a struggle, getting people to know you and accept what you're planning, your plans, what you were trying to create. And then you got that first one out, and everything kind of changed that way, right? Things started to fall into place because people saw it in the homes. They loved it. I've seen some reviews on Facebook and from some of your advertisers, and I know the one guy got 5 calls. Was it a tree guy, a tree service?
Yeah, he was a tree service. Yes.
Yeah, and he got 5 calls, and as soon as the first one came out, which is kind of shocked me. Actually, that's better than you'd think. Usually, it is a branding game. Usually, it takes a while and stuff like that. But let's just talk about what makes it different from maybe other ways to promote your business, what the community's saying about it, why residents like getting it. And I will preface it by saying, if I'm not incorrect, you're in 9 neighborhoods now, right? From what you
Yeah,
mentioned,
with this next issue, we'll be hitting 9 different
9
neighborhoods,
neighborhoods.
and yep,
So
starting with 1. We started with 1 in April, and we're already up going on to 9, so it's definitely taken off
with
fast.
your 5th issue, yeah, and that's because it's working. Things like that
Mhm.
just don't take off like that unless people, both the advertisers and the community, love it. And I know you put a lot of work into creating the concept and the connector. That was kind of your plan from the start. But tell us what the connector is. I mean, I can
Yeah.
envision a little bit of it, but why are you the connector?
Well, so they've always called me the connector, just being in marketing and advertising, as I
Mhm,
mentioned, for so many decades, just making connections. But what really makes it different here is when I came out to Virginia Beach, I realized it's a tourist and a military town. There's half tourist, half military.
mhm,
And but what I noticed is even though there was a lot of tourism, the tourism industry wasn't being pushed onto the locals, if you will. So, for example, they would have racks of like events going on or things like that down at the ocean front in bins or at the hotels, but no one was really letting the locals know what was going on. So, therefore, a lot of locals were still looking for things to go do outside of their home area.
mhm.
So, what I thought is, we would bring it in. First thing I did differently was find local artists. I didn't want to put just a picture on the front cover. I feel like ever since iPhones came out, everyone has a great picture, right?
It's true.
Especially with that portrait mode, which is the whole reason I bought it. I looked really good. But anyway, we started with the local artists. So as you can see, we got Sam Welty on our May issue here.
Mhm.
He does a lot of the wall murals downtown. We've had anyone from Rick Romano to Clayton Singleton, Amy Bruce, Eric, and Todd Lindbergh. I could go on and on, but they've been fantastic. So we started with local artists, and then we started bringing in local entertainment, local events, local travel, like bed and breakfasts or the Virginia State Parks. Just promoting what's here locally to the residents because for example, yes, you can go online, you can find out things about what's going around town. You can see, what artists are, painting murals downtown. You can also, find a landscaper online. But like you said, Brad, online is great, but it's very saturated. So you have to go to like a lot of different places. So my goal is to just put it all in one place.
Right.
And that's what we've done. So, in addition to promoting all the local stuff to the residents versus just the people coming to visit, we're also promoting, those home services, like I mentioned. Again, anything from a financial advisor to a dog groomer to someone that cuts down your trees.
Right.
And the feedback that I'm getting is phenomenal because there are a lot of local magazines around town, and that was kind of the challenge when I first got here.
Mhm.
But I realized we're all doing something different because where they're promoting local residents and local events, they're not really tapped into that tourist industry, which is huge. I
Okay.
believe for heads and beds creates tax dollars, so we're all here to help our economy.
Okay.
Um, that and just putting it all in one place. The feedback that I'm getting is, hey, I'm a single mother of 3, and your things to do over Memorial Day weekend, we followed it, piece by piece. Anything from biking the boardwalk to going to the Strawberry Festival out in Pungo.
Right.
They had an amazing time. Yes, the covers, we did go to the soft touch cover, and you'd be surprised what kind of feedback that gets. I kind of think maybe we should just made a book of soft pages. Everybody loves it, but no, it's just being able to provide the local residents and homeowners here with positive feedback, positive things to do that are for good purposes, such as our, charities and nonprofit events, to something they may need, whether it's how to choose a health insurance plan or the best way to go about remodeling your home, if you will, if you want to sell it or downsizing. So again, just trying to provide educational, fun, and positive stuff to our locals. Um, I like to say building stronger communities, one neighborhood at a
Absolutely. Well, there's a
time.
big need for that, and the COVID thing has, not only is print cool again, but local is cool again because COVID kind of put us all in, in our homes, and our
Mhm.
reach kind of people stopped going as many places as they used to. It used to be you drive all over town, come home and go to, watch TV and go to sleep and eat dinner. Maybe now you kind of stay close to home for lots of different reasons because and people are working remotely now a lot more too. So they're home more and they want to find out, they want to be part of the community, and they also want to find out
Mhm.
what's going on in the community. And also you touched on how do you reach these people where it's relevant, and online,
Mhm.
you can Google lots of things and get you can spend a lot of time tab after
Mhm.
tab after tab trying to find what you're really looking for, whether it's a local coffee shop or an event or a lawyer, anything in between. So this is kind of, when people get this, they know these people are current because you don't print year old information in this month's issue.
Mhm.
It's the current list of, I know you have local experts and professionals in the industry that are right down the street. And they people get it, they look forward to getting it, they can't miss it because it comes in the mailbox, and this thing is
Mhm.
beautiful. They're not gonna throw this away with a postcard or a junk mail type of thing they get. So,
Mhm.
it's consistent, and now that you've gotten 4 issues under your belt, I've talked to you because, like I said, we print the magazine, so we're not strangers at all, and,
Mhm.
I hear what you're saying, and I just want people to know that there is a difference in this mode of, not only for the consumers, but for the businesses that advertise. One of the things you're doing, that I'm familiar with, is you're working with local real estate agents, to promote, not only promote their business, but they kind of have, realtors kind of are an eye and ear on the communities. They're
Mhm.
there all the time. They take certain neighborhoods that you're in, and they become the local expert in that neighborhood. That means not only they know about the houses and the houses coming and going, they know a lot of other things because their ear is to the ground, and they're out there talking
Mhm.
to people. So you get a lot of information through your real estate sponsors that not only is it great advertising for them, but it's great content for you because they know, they're going to know the new business down the street. They're going to know what homes are for sale, or they might know what
Mhm.
what the events are in the community and that type of thing too. So, um, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that. I kind of talked about more than what
Yeah.
I wanted to, but you tell us.
Yeah, sure. And absolutely. So I like to call them my feet on the street, because yes, realtors, they who knows the industry more than someone in that industry that lives
Right,
in that neighborhood.
right.
So they help me find the local experts that we mentioned. Again, they can vary from any industry as long as it's relevant to a homeowner or resident.
Mhm.
And because I want my local experts to be the best of the best, the who's who, because when you put your name and your stamp on something, you want to make sure whoever that you're promoting in your magazine is really the best of the best. So I really rely on my realtors for a couple different things. One is those experts, but they also let me know what's going on in each community because there are so many different communities, that I can't be everywhere. So they have really become partners with me on this, and they have so much good to share with their neighbors. I just thought it was a great strong point to start
Yeah,
with.
and also they
Yeah.
help you pick out the areas, and I know this from experience also.
Mhm.
People say, "Where do you mail these? How do you decide where to mail these?" Well,
Mhm.
I'll give you the answer, and I think you'd agree that the realtors, I like to say, they do the hard part for you because they
Mhm.
know where the most expensive homes are, the affluent communities, and also the people that take more maybe pride in their community. And that's, those are the neighborhoods you're reaching. You're not reaching people where people don't even like living there. They don't care about their neighborhood and that type of thing. And this type of a publication
Mhm.
celebrating community, connecting, like you said, like
Mhm.
your name implies, just helps build that, it tightens up the neighborhood. People get closer to each other. They care about each other more, and that also means the consumers caring about the local businesses and vice versa. So it helps the advertisers reach, people that not only can drive down a short trip to do business, whether it's a
Mhm.
chiropractor or a dentist or something like that, but
Mhm.
also they kind of know that these people are local. They're looking out for each other, and they want to support each other.
Yeah, so I like to call it backyard networking is what I'm creating. So, these days, ever since Google came out and, people don't talk to each other when they need a service, they go to Google. Well, there's probably someone right in your backyard that does it. So why not support your neighbor or your community versus bringing someone from outside the area? And yes, Brad, to your point, the content. So what's different between, I just want to say real quick, we do have experts, we have advertisers, but there's a difference because anyone can advertise. But to
Mhm.
be an expert, you really have to be special. You have to want to go above and beyond. You want to have to give back. This is not for someone that just needs business or their phone ringing. It's for those to help that really want to help educate their neighbors. So that way, when the time comes and they have to make a decision in a vertical that they're not familiar with, that they can lean on these experts and trust them. So not only does do we use local businesses, but all the content is written by our local experts too. So
Mhm.
when I say everything local, I mean everything local.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
yeah.
when advertisers wanna reach people, obviously, they want the phone to ring, and they
Hmm.
want, they wanna make money day by day, but they also wanna build a legacy, they wanna build
Hmm.
long-term stability, they wanna build trust, and out
Hmm.
here, we call the most we wanna make you the most well-known, respected, trusted, and referred professional in your industry, and you're doing basically the same thing. Like, they're gonna see these advertisers over and over,
Hmm.
consumers are, and they're gonna look at that local expert list, and they might not need a plumber this month or next month,
Hmm.
or the month after, but eventually they're gonna go back and say that, that's the person I keep seeing every month. They're in the
Hmm.
neighborhood, and out here, we call it choose local first. Always give your local guy a
Hmm.
try first, whether you need a pair of tennis shoes or a a lawyer, or
Yeah.
something like that. Always go to your local guy first, and if they treat you well, and if they charge you the right price, and if they're good to do business with, it means a lot. I mean, it means a lot to you
Hmm.
personally because you can trust them, but it also means something to
Hmm.
the community, which is gonna make everybody happier, we're gonna thrive, and property values are gonna go up because it just makes those communities more valuable and desired, and so it's really a recipe, and it's hard to
Hmm.
explain every facet of it, but
Right.
you're doing, for the advertisers, it's sorta like a networking club, and I think a lot of us in
Hmm.
business have been in networking groups, and they're great. I'm in some, and, but this magazine itself is sorta like a networking group because they've got you. Every expert or advertiser or realtor has you talking to everybody else in town, and you're out there every
Hmm.
day knocking on doors and talking
Hmm.
to people and connecting. So you're kind of the glue that keeps that whole group together, and it's really a sort of a networking group in a magazine, and I've
It.
seen it work, and,
Mhm.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, it really is. I was just gonna say, and I think a lot of it, and yes, the tree guy got 7 calls within the first week of hitting a new neighborhood, and he was on cloud nine.
Yeah.
Ended up getting 5 of those jobs, which, like you said, is branding. But I think what it was is because our experts, like we mentioned, they don't just run an ad; they're actually educating. And he had just run a 2-page spread on pruning, coming up for the
Mm,
hurricane season, getting this off. So I think what it does is build well, I don't think I know it builds that trust before. So if someone gets a phone call from my magazine, it's a warm lead. They
yeah.
already pretty much want to do business because that person has gone above and beyond to help educate this person without even knowing that the service was needed. So I think that just says a lot in the businesses themselves and our experts, how they,
Well, it's generally
handle.
accepted right now that people wanna receive those kinds of messages. It's not the old,
Hmm.
here I am versus there you are
Right.
marketing, which we've talked about a lot, but there you
Hmm.
are marketing means, give you some information, give you something to let you
Yeah.
know that, "Hey, I know what I'm doing. I care about you. Here's some information. If you wanna know more,
Right.
any questions, give me a call," versus, "Hi, I'm Brad, the greatest realtor," or whatever. So, it works. The formula works. Obviously, you're
Hmm.
a perfect example of it. You've grown from 1 magazine to 9 magazines now in less than 5 months, and, I know you're going down to Norfolk, which is close by, to talk to maybe open a new area. So next month, it might be 10 or 11 or 12, who knows? But the good news is, it's working. Your
Hmm.
hard work is paying off. People love it, and I just wanna say that, if you're out in that area and you wanna get your business exposed to some affluent homes, some people that are
Hmm.
spending money help fixing their homes or going out to eat dinner or doing anything else in the community. You have a great events calendar in there every month, so it's a
Hmm.
trusted resource, and I'm excited for you.
Well, thank you, Brad. We're super excited too, and yeah, we're excited to see where we go from here. But we couldn't do it without all the locals here. So I want to give a special thanks to all the people that have trusted us and worked with us because we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, it takes the community, so, you're a
Yes.
big part of that, and so are your supporters and the residents that read the magazine, so thank thank them also. Anyway, well, thank you for being with us today. Your number is scrolling along the bottom, but it's connectormagazines.com is the website, and you're Michele at connectormagazines.com. And the phone number is scrolling along the bottom so people can see it there. And I want to thank you for being here today. And maybe in a few months, we'll see. Maybe it'll be 20, 25 magazines or something in a few months.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, that's our show today. I wanted to thank our sponsors. We wouldn't have a show without them. Attorney King, of course, Saquon Casino, IB Fitness, and I can't remember who else. So I'll thank them later. Anyway, thanks, Michele, for being with us. That's our show.